Hey guys, welcome to Ecclesia number 3. I hope I'm live. Sorry for the delay, but there's construction going on at home, so it's kind of disruptive a little bit. Um, okay, so today, I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Great, I'm live. Okay, good. Um, Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Cloud Cover Ecclesia number 3. There may be some noise in the background because there's some construction going on and I'm in a different room. So apologize for that. But I hope you had a very good Thanksgiving. I know I had a great time, even though I kind of overcooked the turkey because I was on a call with one of my developers, and so instead of taking it out at 160, I took it out at 200, so it was a little bit dry. But other than that, it was great to see old faces, friends, and family. So it was a nice get together. I hope you had the same. Um, I don't know if you guys have been watching the soccer lately, the World Cup soccer. I got caught up in it. Certainly, the U.S. game was very exciting to watch. I used to play soccer when I was very young, so it came back to me. I was in Africa as well, so it was nice to see the action during the game. So. Um, yeah, so I just want to, before we talk about an app that I want to kind of give you a preview of it because, and then later on, you guys can play around with the app. I want to kind of do a monologue about what we're doing in terms of marketing our platform to developers. So we're engaging with several hackathon partners. I don't, we are not gonna limit to two or three, but we will basically do as many as we can manage because we also have limited resources to manage hackathons. So that's one of the things that is weighing on our minds as we work with our partners. We want to work with partners that take most of the effort in doing it, and then what we want to do is publicize this on our website in terms of winners. And generally, we want to do a hackathon on a weekly basis, and on a wide scale. So involving multiple partners is the best way to do it because then it gives us coverage in different regions of the world. Um, the purpose of hackathon is basically to transform any app, whether it's a consumer app, enterprise app, into a an app that can use decentralized storage. If you look at the historically the transitions of applications into new technology. It takes time, and it's a huge, it's a lot of time, and it's transformative. If you look at how we went from laptop to personal storage to or local storage to cloud storage, that took like 20 years. It's still going on, and it started with the developers. And then if you look at digital transformation, that's still going on. And so what we are thinking is that the Web3 transformation, which is about smart contracts, can be even more can be accelerated with decentralized storage, because if you look at any transformation of Web 2 to Web 3, it's really about smart contracts, which is not that simple. It takes time, testing, and there's currency involved. So it can be quite a long time before they see the results. Um, Whereas if you look at decentralized storage, what we have done, especially with Bloom, you can do it today. There's no code change. You just point to a decentralized S3 server and you're done. And you can call yourself a decentralized company in the sense that you're storing the data in a decentralized environment. These are the things that we want to engage developers and industry icons like Elon Musk obviously had a spat with Apple. Now that seems to have de-escalated because he went to their headquarters. The thought remains like, what if Apple were to censor Twitter? How would you prevent that existential threat to your business? It's about insurance, right? Now, how do you prevent that sort of thing from not happening? And it can be done. I mean, the first step is to have a decentralized storage solution. That seems like a no-brainer. Have an unstoppable website where all the data, all the content can be accessed regardless of whether you can download the app or not from the Apple Store. I think those are some of the things that we want to talk to developers and Web2 companies. The transformation from consumer enterprise app into a decentralized, using the decentralized storage is going to be our focus in driving these hackathons. And we are also talking to and partnering with blockchain consultants. So the reason is, when you look at some of the companies, especially on the enterprise side, they would delegate this to an outside company that would help them transform part of their platform. So that's something that we are working with. We are basically working with blockchain consultants and partners that would further the idea of using decentralized storage as opposed to using the traditional AWS. And there are two ways you can do it. One is to use Blimp, where you have no code change. And the other is to use our SDK, which gives you total control for the customer to interact directly with the storage providers. So that's where we are at with our marketing strategy. Basically, our strategy is focused on hackathons, on getting developers on board, building new applications using decentralized storage, and consultants and blockchain developer companies to talk about them. And then the plan is, once we have these hackathons, we want to showcase their work on our website. So on our website, we will have winners, whether it's first, second, third. I think that we'll have three first, second, third place winners showcase their work, but we may have additional projects that we want to showcase on our website. So that's something that we will do as these hackathons unfold. Now, when are we going to have these hackathons? Well, the idea is to have them potentially even before mainnet, but maybe they will definitely start after mainnet in full force. But we would try them out before mainnet if possible. All right, so one other thing I want to talk about is Ecclesia. I don't know if we call it Ecclesia because it's to be in line with Greek mythology. If you look at Greek mythology, Ecclesia is a political assembly of citizens of ancient Greek states, the periodic meeting of Athenian citizens for conducting public business or for considering affairs proposed by the council. So it's sort of, that's what we're doing, and I'm hoping we have this on a weekly basis, and obviously the weeks leading up to mainnet is about launching and showcasing our applications and a bunch of different things, but we plan to have this on a regular basis even after mainnet. Primarily, maybe this will be focused on the hackathons that are taking place, the winners of the hackathon, or about the projects that they're working on. We hope to have this Ecclesia on a regular basis, even after mainnet. All right, so okay.
Hello, folks. This is Bolt, our brand new non-custodial wallet.
Oops, sorry. Okay, so I think it's ready. Okay, so I have a video from my product manager for Bolt. So we will disclose, we'll give you a preview of Bolt today, and I believe it's ready. They have been working on it. There's always it's kind of the Murphy's law, like everything breaks down at the last minute. So that sort of thing, always happens. And I'm very appreciative of our developers, front end, back end, DevOps, and obviously our product manager to pull this through and showcase the video. We want to right now we are in the transition into putting the video into the app into the domain, the proper domain. So that's something that's causing some DevOps issues. So once we have that, we also want to make sure the other app, Atlas app, is also functional, because the transactions that are shown on Bolt go to that app, and that app is not done yet. So it's kind of the reasoning behind not showcasing or not having it on the or disclosing the URL just yet, is because we want to have it fully functioning, so that there's no back and forth between you guys testing it out and telling us what we already know that it's not working. So we want to have it fully working, and then you can give us feedback on. I'm sure there will be a feedback in terms of something is not working or something is amiss. So let me show the. Okay, so how do we do this? So let's see if we can see it. Okay, can you guys see this? Okay, perfect. Yeah, you can see this. All right, so I'll let this video run, and I'll stop it every now and then to explain what's going on with the video. All right.
Is initiated. Hello, Fox. And this is Bolt. Here on Explorer, we can see the block. Hello, Fox. We can see when the transaction has been created, the transaction type.
Okay, there's some echo going on. 1 second. Okay.
Wallet. Here, and we can see the claimable staking reward. Hello, if Fox. I can also stake to other providers like blobbers. As you can see here, there is a list of blobbers. I'm not going to.
Okay, hang on 1 second. I'll get this sorted out. It's so weird. It's only one spline. Okay, let's try it again.
This Bolt, our brand new non-custodial wallet, CCM, have been used to stake some of the main features of Bolt. CCM, it's through CCM.
Okay, so well, let me just play it and then showcase what's happening. So what Gert is doing here is basically entering the phone number. So the way it works is that you enter your phone number, and then you wait for the verification code to come into your phone, which you then enter. This is basically using Firebase. This is typical for any app that's using Firebase. And then once you do that, you get to this page where you have the mnemonic of the wallet. And this is something you need to store it and or write it down somewhere. And then you need to verify your mnemonic that you've written it down. So we basically make sure that you verified it and written it down before you continue. So here she's like verifying the different words, and then she's inputting her name for the wallet, and then if you want, you can save it to cloud. Now this cloud is essentially our centralized cloud, but it's encrypted, so only you can open it. So then it goes to the dashboard page. The first thing she does is basically gets tokens from the faucet. This is generally, it's not going to be available for mainnet, but as you can see, there's one token that's from the faucet. So she's getting a couple more tokens, it looks like. Yeah, so she's getting like 3 tokens. So let me pause it a bit. So just to showcase, what's going on, you have on the menu item, you have wallet, you have stake, you have activity. You can see what activity you have been doing. You can buy ZCN, you can sell ZCN, and then there are settings, and I'll go through them one by one. So the thing is, you can see all the recent transactions that was done, and then the activities associated with the transaction. So for instance, if you receive payment, you should see this activity here, even though it's not a transaction that you have done. So these are transactions that you have done, and these are activities that have taken place. And typically some of the activities are if you received something from someone. Okay. All right. So here again for 3 tokens. And then, okay, so here, what's happening here is that you can view, so when you click on the view details, you basically can see that the token originated from the smart contract, and this is the faucet smart contract, and it's sent to your wallet, and it's confirmed on this date, and this is the amount, and you can view it on the Explorer. And when you click on the Explorer, you will I don't know if it's okay, you view it on the Explorer. So generally, okay, so before I go, so when you click on the View Explorer, it basically goes to Atlas Explorer, which is our Explorer, and that app is not fully completed yet. So that's one of the reasons why we are not having the Bolt app online yet. Okay, so now she's moved on to staking. So if I want to stake tokens to the different providers, so let's go back for a minute. So here, staking, basically you're staking to different providers. Let me increase this size here. So you're staking to either blobbers, sharders, or miners. There will be few miners and sharders that are open. And this is the team operated miners and sharders that will open to public for delegation. And the blobbers, there's basically there should be lots of blobbers out there that would have opened themselves up for delegation. I know we will open our blobbers up for delegation. So you could go there, or you could have your own blobber. For instance, on Chimney, which is our other app, which you can use to rent a server and have that server operate on the network. You can either stake tokens through Chimney, or you can use Bolt to stake tokens on your server. So it really depends on how you go about it. Okay, so here she selected miners, and then so these are the 3 miners that are on the network today. There will be 111 100 or so miners for mainnet, but most of them you cannot delegate because most of them will be not opened up. There will be about 15 that will be opened up, and these are the team miners. Okay, so you select a miner, and then you can get miner details. And okay, this is going a little bit fast, so let me slow it down a bit. Okay, so you get miner details, and we'll add more details to the miner in the next couple of weeks. We'll add API to get more information about the miner in terms of how much they're earning, how many blocks they generated, and so forth. And then you click on stake button to stake. So this is how much you want to stake. Let's say you want to stake 3 ZCN. Or you can stake any amount. You can basically, this is an editable format, and then you can stake as much as you want. So now you have staked 3 ZCN. So basically you're adding this new stake. If you have previous stake, it'll take into account what your current total would be, and then you're asked to confirm it. Now once you confirm, you've submitted the stake for 3 ZCN. You can view it on the Explorer, and you can go back to the page, stake page. So okay, now yeah, okay, so go back to the stake page. You can see it's staked, it's active, it's pending reward, this much of ZCN. So now some time has elapsed, and the blocks are generated, and you're getting this ZCN. And I can guarantee you that if you stake 3 ZCN, you are not going to get 3.4. We have to basically adjust the settings in our config for this to be accurate. Right now there's only 3 miners. It's not 100 miners, so that's why you have a large amount of ZCN coming as a reward. The other thing is that we have reduced the period. And so that's one of the reasons why you see the stake amount to be pretty high, the reward amount to be pretty high. Okay, yeah, so that's a staking award. Again, that's too high. So now if you want to stake 2 blobbers, now there are like 6 blobbers on the network, so you can add stake to blobbers, sharders. There are 2 sharders on the network. There will be about 30 for mainnet. And you can see, as you can see, the activity. So you receive from faucet 1 ZCN, and there should be activity on the staking as well. Is successfully staked. So when you refresh the screen, you see the activity that was taken place. Right now your ZCN is 0 because most of it is staked. You can see the staked is 3. The total you have is 3. So balance that you can send. So available balance means available to send to somebody. You have basically 0, right? So now you can see as you got another token from the faucet. Okay, so before we go there, so you can see you got another token from the faucet, and it's the total is 4 ZCN and the staked is 3 ZCN. So now we are talking about what Goethe is talking about is how do I buy ZCN to stake for a particular provider, whether it's miner, sharder, or blobber. So there are 2 ways to do it. The credit card is coming soon. That's still in process. The other way is to basically use MetaMask, and that's something, and that can be only used using Google Chrome. and basically you connect to MetaMask. Amount to buy is 10 ZCN. Basically, you go through MetaMask and it. Okay, so I guess we're not showing the MetaMask flow yet, but that's something we will obviously have that. That again, the flow for MetaMask today. So what you will be able to see is using the Gurley network. I believe. I think the Ropstein network was something we were using, but now it's been deprecated. So we're using the Gurley network for Ethereum, and you can test all of these functionalities using that network. And so the MetaMask, when it comes up, it basically automatically will select that network where you will basically convert the ZCN, the ETH, your ETH into ZCN, and then from ZCN to native ZCN through our token bridge. Now, obviously, you have to get ETH somehow, so that's something that we will facilitate people who wants to test this out. We can give out the ETH through Gurley, or you can get it from their faucet. All right, so and the reverse process is also there in terms of selling ZCN from basically converting the ZCN to ETH, and so that's pretty much it. I mean, that's the flow. When we have credit card, you could use USD, and USD gets converted to USDC, and then it comes back to your wallet, and then from the wallet, you basically do the same process that we have shown here. This is fully automated, so it will be seamless. It'll be it's a workflow. It's basically exact workflow that we have today for the DEX approach. The DEX approach is basically you go through decentralized exchange if you have ETH. If you don't have ETH, then if you have credit card, the credit card first converts into USDC. The USDC you get in your Ethereum wallet. If you don't have a wallet, it will generate the wallet, and then basically you go through the same flow where you convert the ETH to or USDC to ZC and ERC, and from ZC and ERC you go through our token bridge to convert to ZC and native. And then that gets into your balance. Then you will see it appearing on your balance. So that's something we will. So that's pretty much it for the demo. I think one of the things we also want to showcase is the iOS app and Android app. So that's something we want to showcase. The other aspect of it is that we have split key with the iOS, and meaning any transaction. Today, the transaction that you saw is something that is used on the platform itself, so there is no split key. So in order to set up the split key, today you have to do it on the mobile end, where you use the desktop as your authenticator, and that's something we will showcase probably next AMA. We will show how the iOS app works as a split key between your desktop and your mobile phone, so that when you send a transaction, or when, let's say, you're staking, or if you're sending somebody tokens, then you need approval from your desktop authenticator before you can send the transaction. And the split key is basically essentially is a software-based air-gapped wallet, so that even if one of your devices is compromised, your transaction is safe. Your assets are safe. Nobody can transact on your behalf and hack into your phone and be able to steal your ZCN tokens. So it's one way to one of the things is that there are a lot of hacks happening, and one of the reasons is why this is one of the reasons why we invented the split key protocol to allow your ZCN to be absolutely safe. So that's probably the content for next week's AMA, and what I would like to do also after we showcase the iOS, probably the iOS app first, and then later the Android, or maybe both, depending on where things are at. We want to have you guys send your emails so that we can add to our test profile so that you can get the latest iOS and Android app so that you can test it out. You can download the authenticator on your laptop and then be able to test out the split key. Obviously, all the functions that you see on the Bolt on the web app will be available on the iOS and Android app. The only difference is that on the iOS and Android, you have the split key way of securing your transactions. All right, so with that, I think I will open up the floor to questions, and you can ask me anything, and I'll try to respond as well as I could. So go ahead with your questions. Hope you enjoyed the little demo, and then we will shortly have the web app up on the domain so that you can test it on the beta domain. And this domain URL will be disclosed shortly. It'll be before the next week's iOS and Android demo. But one of the things is that we want to make sure that Atlas is reasonably ready, or we basically don't show that feature because we want to make sure that whatever we show, it's almost perfect. It's not 50%, it's not 60%, it's close to 99, 100% perfect. So and I'm sure there will be feedback from you guys in terms of what we can do better, or there may be some bugs here and there. So we appreciate you taking a look at the app before we go mainnet and live with all these apps. So these, again, the whole point of these AMAs is to launch these apps and showcase these apps, and for you guys to test out and then give us feedback. All right, the first question is, in the wallet you buy, sell native ZCN. Who is selling the ZCN? From the team, or is it a decentralized exchange built into the wallet? Yes, so we are a total non-custodial solution. So you have total control of your wallet. If you have ZCN, native ZCN, and this native ZCN is something that you have maybe earned as a result of being a provider, or because you stake tokens, you've converted the ERC tokens into native tokens and you want to sell them. You can do that, and that's through a decentralized exchange. It's the same decentralized exchange that we use today. Right now, we are basically using Bancor, but later on we can include others. Okay, so the question, can you clarify, from NK, question is, can you clarify buy-sell options on the left corner of Bolt tab? So buy-sell option, as it says, if you want to buy ZCN, you have an option to use credit card or your Ethereum that's on your MetaMask wallet, and then we use DEX like Bancor, and we'll probably include Uniswap later on to convert it into ZCN ERC. Once you have the ZCN ERC, then you convert it to ZCN native. All of that is built into that workflow, the workflow that we shown you. But it's not. We haven't shown you completely how it happens, but it's all in the workflow. You don't have to do anything. It's done automatically. And then the reverse process is basically you convert from ZCN native to USDC. And that's something we, ZCN native to Ethereum. And you know, it doesn't go back to the credit card, but the credit card flow is on the buy side, is that you buy with credit card, it goes to your wallet as USDC and Ethereum, and then you convert that to ZC and ERC, and then to native. Okay, question from Anonymous, I guess. Can SAS please discuss the delegation process and rewards in a more detailed overview? Yeah, so the delegation process is that you stake if the miner, charter, and blobber. So if the provider lets you lets you have delegates. So for instance, if I'm a miner, I need to open up my miner to have more than one delegate. If I say it's only restricted to one delegate and I am the delegate, then nobody else can stake on that provider. So so let's say we open up delegates and we allow 100 delegates. So there's a maximum limit on number of delegates you can have per provider. And there's a minimum stake amount. There's a minimum stake and there's a maximum stake. So you, as long as you abide by those global stake amounts, you're fine to put in as much as you want. But there is a restriction on how much you can stake as a delegate, because this is to make sure that one delegate doesn't dominate the staking. But it's hard to prevent somebody from doing it, because you can always have another wallet. You can open up multiple wallets and stake it. But this is just a way to minimize that, because you have to be very good with your staking and be the first to act to stake on a blobber that's just opened up, for instance, for staking. So that's something that we'll see how it works. But that's the kind of process. So you have typically 100 delegates per provider maximum, and then there's a minimum stake and there's a maximum stake, and this will be all outlined. It'll be all outlined shortly. Okay, question from JLib01. Can you discuss the blobber allocation strategy? How many ZCN would you allocate to a single blobber, or would you deploy multiple blobbers with minimum stake? Okay, so let me answer the first question. How many ZCN would you allocate to a single blobber? So I don't know where. I guess your question is, if you are renting a server and you are the blobber and you're staking your blobber, and you're asking how much should I stake? I would stake as much as the capacity that you want to, as the capacity of the server. That's how much I would stake, or at least 80% of it. I mean, generally, there's no reason why you should stake less, because at least you should open it up for delegation. So, for instance, you should open up for delegation, and you can stake as much as you want. You can stake 20%, 50%, but you have to look at the earnings calculator to see what is your ROI based on that. What is your service charge? So you can, when you allow other people to stake on your blobber, you collect, you also specify a service charge. Now the service charge, there's a maximum service charge. So for instance, I think it's 25% is the max, but let's say you set your service charge to be 20%, then and open your blobber for delegation, then anybody can delegate, up to whatever the maximum amount, and then you get service charge 20% of rewards coming to you regardless, and then if you stake, say additional 20%, then essentially you get 40% of the reward. I don't know if that clarifies it or not, but basically, as a server operator, I get service charge, and then whatever I stake, I get on top of it. So it's to your benefit. If you're renting a server, it's better to stake as well, and as well as collect service charge. So you share some risk. It's kind of a risk reward assessment that you need to do. How much reward do I want, and how much do I want to stake? And so the other question is, would you deploy multiple blobbers with minimum stake? Yes, I mean, and you can. What you could do, like if you're setting up a business, blobbing business, you rent, and with Chimney you can rent multiple servers with one account. With one login account, but you need different wallets for different servers, but it's all through the app. So we make it very simple for you to use that app to have multiple servers that you can operate as blobbers and derive income. The primary income could be the service charge, and then you can stake whatever the minimum amount you want to stake to get that income, and then open it up for delegation so that more people can delegate and share the reward and the cost of operation of the blobbers. So that's how I would do it. I mean, it really depends on your case. Like if you're in the data center, you have lots of servers, you have a cabinet that's already paid for, it has space and power, then you just add servers, and then you assign a service charge for all those servers, and then open it up for delegation, and you stake a certain amount, whatever the minimum stake is, or you can stake. Again, you have to look up the earnings and do some analysis. What is the optimal strategy? Okay, question from Elephant. Can you explain a bit more about how the price of ZCN is related to the amount of data stored? What are the mechanisms? Right. If it's basically a supply-demand equation. It's a mathematical equation. If there is more demand, there's only limited supply of ZCN. And you need it to store. You need ZCN to store data, both on the client side and on the blobber side, because it's a one-to-one. So if I want to store 1 terabyte of data, I need to put tokens. I need to lock tokens in a pool for 1 year, and blobbers also have to lock 1 terabyte of tokens in their stake pool for 1 year. So you have a write pool, you have a stake pool, each holding 1 terabyte of tokens. Whatever the cost, whatever the right price of the token is. So let's say the right price is 1 ZCN per gigabyte, then you're holding 1,000 tokens in the write pool and 1,000 tokens in the stake pool. Now the stake pool you cannot take out if somebody is storing data. So if I'm storing data, you cannot take it out. If it's allocated, you cannot take it out. So now that's the same concept as Ethereum, staking, where you cannot take out if it's locked, right? And so it takes tokens out of circulation. If you take token out of circulation, the supply of tokens fall, and if the supply of tokens fall and there is more demand, let's say, people continue to store data, then the price of ZCN will increase as a result of that. So does that make sense? So basically, as there's demand for more data to be stored, which is something that we need to generate that adoption, as the adoption of storage will amplify the price, because it amplifies this storage economy. So our network is a storage economy network, and the more data is stored, the more the value of the economy. It's like a country's GDP, right? So think of us as the GDP. The GDP is growing, but unlike most of the country's GDP, the dollar it's continuously printed. There's more money printed in order to keep the price of the dollars constant. In our case, we don't print any more tokens. So the reflection of the economy is basically, as the storage economy increases, it's reflected on the price, because we keep the number of tokens constant, as opposed to what the US government does, where as the economy grows, which it's continually growing, it's printing more paper, right? It's printing more dollars. All right, so I think those are the questions that we have. Good. Great. So thank you again for joining this Ecclesia number 3. And we hope to see you again for the next one, where we will showcase the iOS and Android Bolt app. And hope you have a good weekend. And let's cheer for the US to win against the Netherlands. So thank you again for joining us, and have a good weekend.